Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Forge. I'm DML and I'm here to talk to you today about WorldWalker. Now, it's gone through quite a lot of design changes and process from the beginning. However, this is the final iteration, the final version of what we're going to go with, and I'm going to describe to you some of its features and some of the issues we had. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is a massive thank you to Dylan McCoun from McCoun Hawks. He's the one that chose to take this project on. And because of that, you can see we've got his, where are we? Got his symbol embossed on the mask, and we also use his handles currently. Okay. Now, the idea behind WorldWalker is that you can go literally anywhere that has firewood available, and you can use this tool to get a fire going, to process wood for shelter building, anything like that, in a versatile, lightweight, but super durable package. And the way that we did that is, and the reason we went with McCoun Hawks is partially because they use 4140 steel, which is mostly for impact tools. So you're thinking like hydraulics, log splitters, and hammers, and all that kind of stuff, okay? Now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to start talking about the features. So, one of the cool features is it has bow drill divots on either side of the head that are accessible while the mask is on the hawk. So it's intrinsically safer than what it would normally be if you had to take the mask off to access those bow drill divots. It does have a hammer pole. Might look a little strange to some of you that it's more sort of horizontal than vertical, okay? So the idea behind that is because they only use 1-inch stock, all right? So due to their manufacturing processes, we couldn't really get a long pole going down without extending it out and coming down, something strange like that. And I wasn't gonna do that. Cool. The next thing that's a little bit different that you're not probably used to seeing is that you got a standard shaped bit, and then the blade will curve into a higher beveled blade on the bottom of the beard. Now, the reason behind that is we were originally going for a knife edge, but unfortunately, because we couldn't quite get this long enough to use as a knife, we decided to change things up a little bit. And Clee Coons actually came up with a really cool idea. He goes, well, what if, because most people carry a knife anyway, regardless, it's usually a folding knife, multi-tool, something like that. What if you made it that you could actually take the head off, turn it sideways, and baton on the back here, in order to use it like a chisel, because most people don't really carry a chisel out in the woods with them. So that was a really awesome idea, and we've gone ahead and done that. We've increased the curvature in the cutting edge here so that you can actually take the head off and use it similar to like an ulu knife. So it's for skinning if you don't have a skinning knife available to you, okay? So that's the idea behind that. The next thing we'll get into is the geometry of the head of this axe, or this tomahawk rather. So it is a overbuilt, beefy blade, but we've tried to make the final cutting edge as fine as we can without detracting from its durability, because in the end, this thing can go through bricks. I've put it through concrete and pretty much any hardwood, because it can do bricks and concrete, and it'll only take on minimum edge damage that's quite easy to sort out and fix after the fact, which is really, really good. Now, it's not going to have the edge retention of some of your more high performance sort of blade steels, but it's far more durable than most of them. Cool. That being said, I'll turn it over this way and you can see that it starts out relatively fine and then thickens quite rapidly. Okay, it ramps it up really, really quickly, and the idea behind that is to help with splitting. So you can actually turn it this way and you can baton it to split if you need to. All right, it also works if you want to invert and drive both the wood and the axe down onto a hard surface so that the weight of the wood splits it, because it's quite light. It's a very lightweight package. The entire package comes in just under 700 grams. Okay, which is really, really cool. The only thing this one is missing is a 90-degree edge. Now, the original one had the 90-degree spine type edge up here for striking ferro rods and tinder processing. For some reason, mine didn't come with that, but that's all right. I've already spoken to Dylan about it, and he said, yep, no worries, forgot about that. We'll chuck it in the next batch, which brings me to my next point. One of the big issues that we had with the initial production batch of these was handle to head fitment. Now, the initial batch was slightly over drifted in the manufacturing process, and that's why I haven't been really sort of pushing these in the market to try and get them out, because we actually sent them all back to Dylan to see if he could fix them up, and he was awesome about it. Really, really cool dude. He goes, yeah, we'll cover the postage, we'll cover everything, dude. I'll take a look at it and see if I can fix them. If I can't fix them, I'll just replace them, all of them, the entire whole first batch. I didn't send him this one back because this is the one I'm going to use for testing, but I'll show you what I mean by the head to handle fitment. So on the bottom, you can see it's actually quite good on this particular head. So you can't really see too many gaps. There are some towards the back here, but it's not too bad. A little bit of extra handle sanding and fitment and that should come up good. However, if you turn it this way, you can actually see that there's quite a large gap here. It closes up pretty quickly as you go down through the taper, but with the price I'm asking for these, I want that to be as perfect as possible. So I'm going to hold on to this and do some further testing on it. Hopefully very shortly I'll get out bush and actually be whaling on this and betoning it and beating the snot out of it and seeing how it goes. Maybe even chop some rocks. Definitely not advised. I just want to see what it's capable of doing, but and see how that handle holds up. But otherwise, the chopping that I've done at home with firewood and such, it's handled perfectly fine. And I've had very, very minimal movement and wobbling in the head. So it's not too bad, but still, for what I'm asking and for what I want it to do, it needs to be far more accurate. So Dylan's going to fix that up for me, which is awesome. All right, so that's just a quick look-see at the WorldWalker Tomahawk. I'll just quickly show you its point of balance while I'm at it. It's about there. All right. So very comfortable when choking up to use for carving and such. And the final thing I'll say is that even though it is quite thin and fine here, we still tried to make it as durable as possible. So if you want to refine that further, you should be able to get away quite easily with that for chopping wood, for limbing and stuff, to make it more efficient at that. Keep in mind, it'll probably make it slightly less efficient at splitting, and it won't make it as durable as they come from the factory. Okay? Anywho, thank you very much for your attention and your continued interest in SunDog Forge. And hopefully I will have another video out bush actually testing some of these very soon. Thanks, guys.